Hello, welcome to today's Monday Mum Hack. Today I'm going to be talking all about water, how much you need and how you can encourage your children to drink. So, how much water should a child be having? Well, a boy or girl aged between 4 and 8 years old needs 1.1 to 1.3 litres of water a day. If you have girls between 9 and 13 years, they need 1.3 to 1.5 litres a day. And boys aged 9 to 13 need a little bit more, they need 1.5 to 1.7 litres a day. Of course, we don't just get water from drinking, we also get it from food. So things that are high in water are things like watermelon, cucumber, things like that. Lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, they absorb the water and obviously we get that through our digestive system. If you're talking about very small children, you should be giving a small cup, either a cup like this or a sippy cup from the age of 12 months and onwards. And that should be some cool water at meal times. And they should just be sipping that at meal times. Obviously, don't give water to any child under the age of 6 months. So how can you encourage your children to drink water? A lot of people say to me, how do you get your son to drink so much water? Because our child will only drink squash, only drink juice. And I think that stems a little bit from when he was little. I encouraged him to drink water and nothing else. I didn't put things like squash and juice in front of him when he was a toddler because I just didn't agree with it. I think that children should 99% of the time be drinking water and obviously milk if they can have it. My son had lots of allergies, which meant he couldn't have dairy, so the only thing that he really wanted to drink for thirst was water. But it's important to encourage water from a very young age. Cup is another thing. You might find that your child prefers an open cup when they get to toddler stage. You can get bamboo ones, you can get plastic ones, you can even get the ones that stick to the high chair and then they can't knock them over, which are really cool. But yes, encourage drinking and sipping from an open cup as early as possible. But if you want to really encourage your child to drink, I found that my son preferred the ones with the built-in straw. And I also then knew exactly how much he was getting. So a lot of these bottles have the amount on the bottom. This has 300 ml. So I knew that if I was filling this up 3 times a day, he was almost getting his recommended daily amount. Now that he's older and in school, he has a bottle this size, and I think this one is 700 ml. So obviously if he's going to school aged 4, he's drinking 700 ml of water. I know that he only needs another half a bottle when he gets home in an evening, and that will be his daily amount done. It's a great way to keep track of how much they're drinking, as well as obviously offering them the option to do it themselves. My son learnt to open and close his bottles quite early on. He was probably about 2 when I introduced these. These are newbie bottles. There's so many out there on the market. Just make sure that you get one that is easily cleanable. These ones, the straw detaches, so then you are able to clean on the inside, either with a cotton bud or a silicone brush. I also used to put these in my cold water Milton sanitizing system, especially during the pandemic, just to make sure that we killed all germs. But yes, how did I get my son to drink more water? It's a funny one really, because he's always liked water. It wasn't like I was forcing him to drink water, but it was an option of just provide it. So I provided it at every snack time, every meal time, and made sure that he was reminded to have a drink. I'd say, are you thirsty? Would you like a drink? But I'd also encourage him to do it himself. So when he had the sippy cup, it obviously had the 2 little handles, and he would pick that up as a toddler and drink out of it. And then, like I said, we moved on to the actual cups on the high chair like that. And then especially when we were leaving the house, whether we had baby classes, whether we went out for a walk, I would always take the sealed bottles with us. And when he got to about 2.5, he said to me, "Mummy, I prefer these over cups." So we stuck with this, and then when he was going to school in September, I actually took him to Tesco and I showed him all of the sealed bottles, and I said, "You can pick whatever you want," and he chose a blue version of this one here, and they're fantastic. They're really easy to clean, and like I said, with the volume on the bottom, you know exactly how much they're having. Tips for getting little ones to drink water would be just put it there on their high chair or wherever they're sitting on a small table, and just encourage them to drink. Also, one thing that I did during the pandemic was every time I wanted a drink and I felt thirsty, I'd say, "Time to drink, time to clink." So we would both get our drinks, we'd open them up, and before we take a sip, we would go, "Cheers," like this. "Cheers," and then we'd both drink. So my son knew every time I picked up my bottle and said, "Cheers," he would then go and get his bottle and we'd do a cheers, and then we'd both have a drink. That was another really, really good way of making sure that he was sort of listening to me about drinking, but also we were both taking a drink at the same time, and he got used to the fact that even though it was fun doing the cheers thing, it was the fact that it was reminding him every so often to take a drink, whether that was 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, and just make sure that, you know, you're cleaning your bottles and cups through regularly, and just encourage your child to drink. As well as the fact that we're getting into the summer months now, you'll find that you know, you'll be more thirsty because it's warmer weather. So again, if you're thirsty, just take that as it's a good indication that your child should be drinking more as well. And you know, you can use my mum hack. Cheers. That worked for us. Like I said, I implemented that when my son was about 2.5, just to sort of make it a bit more fun for him, really, because I'd say, "Are you thirsty?" and he'd say, "No, I'm not thirsty." And I'd say, "Come on, let's have a drink. We'll have a drink together." And that was when we came up with the whole cheers thing, because he would then laugh and go, "Cheers, mummy," you know, and then we'd both drink. And then it got to the point where he realised for himself that he was thirsty, and he would go to his bottle, open it and help himself. And even sometimes he'd go up to me and say, "Oh, cheers, mummy," and you know, I'd then have to grab my bottle, and that was a good indication that he was learning that he was thirsty and he did need to have a drink. And now, like I say, I send him to school with one of these, and well, most days of the week he'll come back with it almost empty, if not empty, and you know, that's great for all those hours that he's at school. If he's drinking 700ml, then that's fantastic. If you find that your child really doesn't like water, try and get a no sugar squash, and only put a very, very small amount of squash in there, just to take the taste into a different taste of the water there. You shouldn't be encouraging too much sugar at this age, only because it's really bad for their teeth. So yeah, stick with the encouraging water, putting it readily available on chairs, high chairs, whatever you're using, dining tables, etc. Make sure that water is available at meal times, snack times. Make sure that you find what works for them, whether they like an open cup or whether they like a bottle with a built-in straw. Take them shopping, ask them to choose whichever one they want. Some of them have got funky designs on. We've just come back from Tesco with this one. I have yet to wash it, but it's a coronation one, which is really cool. My son loves red and buses, and he sort of said, "It's got the Union Jack on, mummy." I said, "Yes, it has." I said, "It's for the coronation. It's depicting London and things in London." And he said, "I really like that cup." So we got him this one. I think this is slightly less volume than the one he's got already. Yeah, 550ml in there and 700 in this one. But either way, if it's going to encourage them to drink out of it, so what if it's got a design on? I think, you know, all for the better. If they want it, they're more likely to use it, I think. So there we go, there's today's Monday Mum Hack. I'm sorry it's been a long one, I've kind of waffled a bit, but yeah, if you have any questions or any other tips I can give you, feel free to pop your questions below and I will happily answer them. Have a wonderful start to the week. I can't believe we're halfway through May already. Have a wonderful day and look out for next week's Monday Mum Hack coming soon. Bye for now.